Welcome to Unscripted Coding. Today we're going to be playing around with MetaHuman Creator. This is by the folks behind the Unreal Engine, and it really is a tool to create very, very realistic humans. The idea here is you'd be able to export it out, put it into Unreal Engine, make it into a video game, put it as very realistic people in your video games. But, of course, that's not the only way you can use them. You can print them out, 3D print them, you can put them into your PowerPoint presentations, whatever it may be. You are just creating a digital person for use. The idea here is it's like a video game character creator, and I put up some other ones. We have Nintendo's Mii Creator, which, of course, is laughable in comparison, but you have a bunch of different eyes, you have a bunch of different face shapes, hair, and you're able to blend and merge and make those changes. But of course, MetaHuman is meant to be a lot more realistic and a lot more customizable. Now, the Mii is a laughable comparison, but lots of modern day video games have these creation tools as well, where you have a number of shapes, you have a number of height options, hair options, and sometimes you're able to customize it quite significantly. So, first thing I noticed when I booted this up is that it is cloud-based. So you don't need a really good computer. You're just streaming this whole experience from Epic Games' servers, I suppose. And you stream the whole experience and you're able to use their computing power to really build these things out. And some of the default templates that you can start with are really, really good looking. Let's wait for it to load. And you can see that there is a level of realism here. But I wanted to go through and just play around with a couple characters. Now, these ones use assets that are currently in development, so let's pick something easy. Let's start with Cooper here. Yeah, you know what? Let's use Cooper. Okay, so you pick a template that's just a starting point, and you're able to make changes, significant changes afterward. But a lot of your usual controls from 3D modeling are the same. You hold the center button and you can move things around. You can hold your right click to rotate the camera. The middle click, you're actually moving the camera. Scroll in and out to zoom. And we have here kind of the preview. And I believe the preview's done in real time. So if you want to, you can, when you render it, when you create your 3D model, it's supposed to look even better. But you can change the lighting to different types of backgrounds. Some of these are more elaborate, like this one with, I guess, a rooftop motif. But you know what? Let's go with the studio. You can choose your render quality. Let's leave that medium for now. But what I wanted to do is see how customizable it is. Because as I was playing around with it, I thought it was both very powerful, but also limiting at the same time. I'll show you what I mean by limiting, because it is like a video game. You have just a set number of hairstyles. Let's use this one for example. Now, of course, you do get the benefit of changing the color, so we can perhaps color. Enable hair dye. There we go. So we can go with some very odd colors as well. Let's go with an interesting bluish color. Okay. But yeah, color has never really been a problem, and here we have a bit of roughness as well, just I think how much and how the color shines through. Salt and pepper, I think they've just taken that out because I've chosen a color, but that's how much gray hair you get. But look at it, you don't get a lot of options for hairstyles. There's 3 times, what is that, 6, 7, 20, 22 different hairstyles, and if you split them up, men and women, let's say 10 each, not a lot of options. So that's a problem, and some of these are the same thing. You have a set number of proportions. Stop the animation to enable this panel, okay? He can be really quite fat, or, fairly skinny. Not a lot of options here. You can change the scale of the head, which is interesting as well. That's kind of the extent to my complaint. You don't have a lot of clothing options. That's always fine, but body, head, eyebrows, these are almost like the Nintendo Mii options. You don't have that many. In fact, Nintendo Mii has a shockingly large number of options, but they're really simple, right? Where I am impressed and where clearly most of the work comes in from is the face. You can make substantial changes to the face. I'm going to start with the skin first, okay? We can just de-age this person or age them up just by changing this texture. Okay, and he can look fairly young if we smooth him out. Contrast is just about color. I think that speaks to health of your individual. And roughness. You can have a very clean looking face, very young individual, and let's get back to somebody middle aged. Okay. So he's aged a bit. If you want to sculpt this face, you can as well. So if he has a crooked nose, let's say, we don't want symmetry, we can pull his nose just a bit more this way. I guess there's a limit here. But by sculpting, you can immediately make very realistic looking changes. Okay, clearly symmetry is not happening here, so he might have, say, a bump on his face, and we'll turn back on symmetry here. I guess that turns off everything. But you can move the eyes around, just change, and all of this is adjusted in a very natural looking way. So if I wanted very thin lips, let's say, and maybe wider, you can make very significant changes. So let's pull the ears back. Let's bulge out the jaw a little bit. Okay, Freckles, again, you can kind of adjust the density, all of these things. But you can start playing around with, let's say, the teeth, okay? This is kind of a creepy looking pose, but you can adjust your teeth. And let's come back here first. You have a bunch of variations from clean to disturbing type of teeth. You can change the black amount. Let's just move that. I guess that helps to sculpt. But you can make these minute changes that is quite disturbing, and all the while, it's still looking good. I don't know how many of you guys play with these character creations. I didn't play around with Cyberpunk too much, but things like Skyrim, you play around with it, and you realize some of the options will just never really match. You have, say, a type of eye and then a type of a mouth, and they just don't look right. And here, as you're adjusting, everything else is adjusting to match. Okay, I'm gonna come back to another menu. If you are running a bit low on ideas, you can actually blend aspects of different characters to try and bring them closer. So, say I want to be more like Amelia, I'm just going to start blending various aspects of this man's face to look more like Amelia. Lips are kind of disturbing, okay? And you can combine different characters, and that's kind of the point. This guy is looking kind of weird now because he has some feminine eyes. That's really the problem. If we move him towards more this guy, Aoi, he's starting to look a little bit Asian, but more masculine. Nose, let's move him towards, and it's all in a spectrum. What else is there? Makeup. Men don't have too much makeup, but why not? You can have different styles. Very disturbing blush. Intensity, very low intensity lipstick if you want. But really, where the key is, all of these have kind of set aspects and not very impressive. But what I'm very impressed about and what I'm very excited about is this whole blend feature. And being able to just slowly sculpt, and you can create completely unique faces just by making these changes that nobody else would. So I want to increase eye size. Okay, maybe a bit too big. Let's move them down. Yeah, I think his freckles are just too much. There. And just by adjusting the skin a little bit, he looks like a much older man. And there you go. Like all of the rest are not that impressive. You just this mustache really matches. No, not this one. Let's go back to this one right here. And you have a character that looks very, very realistic. And all the while it's saving to the cloud, and you're supposed to be able to export this person out. And let me see if I can find a way to do this. Okay, let's come back to the main menu. I guess not. How do I export? Play, hide hair. Well, maybe maybe we can't export it. Let's just take a look. MetaHuman Creator export. Okay, so you're gonna need to install Unreal Engine. That's a 20 gig download or so, and you can use Pixel Bridge. So that will take it right into the project. You can select the resolution, and by the end of it, you get a file that you can use. So again, very closely tied with Unreal Engine, but I know that you can export this out and use it for other pieces. Now, one last thing. I just wanted to see that. I see. So I hope that seems really interesting to you guys. Using AI is what MetaHuman was claiming to do way back when I first saw this. Using AI to adjust as you go. We're going to have some really realistic humans in video games and other applications very soon, because you start with a template. This guy is completely unique. It took us 15 minutes or so to get this together, and completely believable. I think this is so cool. I don't know what use I would have. And the other thing is, I wonder if I can sculpt myself in here. And truth be told, I don't know. I don't know that there is enough specificity here to do it. There's just a lot of random noise that is generated, that it would be very hard for you to have a target person face like my own to sculpt into here. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If not, also let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, do what you have to do. But we're going to keep trying new tools. And this one I just stumbled on while playing with Unreal Engine. We're going to come back to Unreal Engine very quickly, but I had to play around with this. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.